Left off here, this was the midpoint checkpoint. So let's see where we're going from there. It's going to be the Southern Campaign, of course, January 12th, Part 2. A little drawing there of what the South may have looked like in this time period. So our Southern Campaign. Why do the Brits go south? Well, that's going to come up in our objectives and essential questions for Part 2. The Southern Campaign, and then, of course, the exit ticket for today. So let's drop in our objective. I can describe why the British Army headed south in the late 1770s. Some of you are probably ahead of this. You've already made the connection why they might head south. What are our two themes in American history? And why did the British take the war to the South? Once again, we're looking at our two themes here, and it's always going to be money and racism. So in this particular case, the racism and the money are both talking about slavery, and so that's going to be one of the biggest reasons the Brits are heading south. Order of events, just to catch you up to where we're at. Battles of Lexington and Concord happened in April 1775. The Continental Congress and Washington taking command, also 1775 in May, so the next month. Bunker Hill happens in June, so this will happen in pretty quick progression. Declaration of Independence is signed in July of 1776. Doesn't actually make it to the King's desk until August, possibly September. It's a little bit debated. But the British do take New York between August and September, so it seems like, the King knows what's going on by August. Battle of Trenton is December of 1776. That is that sneak attack. Battle of Saratoga is April of 1777. That is where things flip, where the Americans actually start to show that they can do this, and so the French decide to go ahead and support them as well. That's why France joins the war in 1777. That Valley Forge winter, the one that we talked about in yesterday's flipped lesson, is the winter of 1777 to 1778. As hopefully living here in the upper Midwest, winter spans across 2 years. So in the South, of course, as I think we know, there are plantations. Plantations equal slaves. The British think they can recruit slaves by promising freedom. Are they telling the truth? Probably not. But can they actually recruit slaves by telling them, hey, we'll give you freedom? Yeah, absolutely. There's a good chance that they can recruit people that way. They can recruit more members of their army, and that means they should have a pretty strong army in the South. And so it's actually theoretically a good concept that they're going with, going down here, bringing the campaign into the South. Once again, South means plantations. That means raw materials. The British government is good for the Southern economy because they can take those raw materials, turn them into goods, and send them back as stuff that the Southern economy can actually use. So they are buying raw materials from the Southern economy. It's good for the Southerners, and then selling it back all over the colonies, which is good for the British. It's a win-win. So the war in the South really happens in this 3-year period between 1778 and 1781. Brits have trouble holding forts in the north. Cornwallis heads south. You can take a look at this map here. Pretty useful for you to kind of see what's going on. The major battles are those big stars. British campaign is the red lines, and so you can see that's actually the majority of it. And blue lines are the colonial campaign. I'm going to pause it here, give you a minute to explore that map. It is there on slide number 89. And so I want you to have a chance to explore that map before you might move on to anything else with today's lesson, which is pretty much just going to be the exit ticket. But let me give you a pause right here.